Snow fell in slow, shimmering waves that Christmas Eve, coating the city in a softness that made even the harshest corners look gentle. But inside a warm little restaurant decorated with red ribbons and twinkling lights, Emma felt anything but warm. She sat alone at a small table, her fingers trembling around a cup of cocoa as she watched the man she'd been matched with for a Christmas blind date walk away from her before the date even began. He had looked at her, frowned, then muttered something about her not being what he expected, leaving her sitting there with her heart cracking quietly beneath the carols drifting through the speakers. She tried to hold herself together, but the rejection was sharp, familiar, and exhausting. It felt like the universe was telling her she was too ordinary, too quiet, not enough. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us hope still exists, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness. Your support helps these emotional stories reach more hearts. Emma stepped outside into the cold night, the door closing behind her with a soft jingle that echoed her loneliness. Her breath formed pale clouds as she walked down the snowy sidewalk, telling herself she didn't care, that she was used to disappointment. But beneath all her practiced strength, something inside her ached for connection, for family, for someone who would choose her and stay. She wrapped her arms around herself and headed toward the bus stop, thinking this Christmas would be just another quiet night alone with a movie and leftover soup. She didn't expect anyone to call out to her in the frost-filled evening, but a small voice did. When she turned, she saw a little girl standing near a bench, bundled in a purple coat with oversized mittens and boots slightly too big for her feet. Her brown curls spilled out from under her hat, and her wide, hopeful eyes were fixed on Emma as if she had been waiting for her specifically. The girl held a small stuffed reindeer pressed tightly against her chest. Her cheeks were pink from the cold, and she looked both nervous and brave at the same time. Emma's first thought was that the child must be lost, so she approached gently. But as she got closer, she realized the girl wasn't scared, she was studying Emma's face the way someone studies a photograph they've been shown before. And then, with a softness that seemed too honest for such a tiny human, the little girl asked her if she could be her new mom. The words hit Emma like a warm blast of air, shocking and confusing her, yet sinking into her soul with a strange familiarity, almost like destiny. Before Emma could process the question, a man hurried toward them from across the street. He looked around 30, tall, with tired but kind eyes and snowflakes clinging to his dark hair. He scooped the girl into his arms, apologizing to Emma with embarrassment and relief. Emma felt her cheeks heat with awkwardness, but also with something else, an odd spark, faint but real. The child continued looking at Emma over her father's shoulder, still hugging her stuffed reindeer, still strangely attached to this stranger she had just met. When Emma learned that the girl, Lily, had recently lost her mother in an accident and had barely spoken in months, the weight of the moment settled over her like thick, quiet snow. Her father, Daniel, confessed that tonight was the first time she had approached anyone. And Emma, standing there in the glow of Christmas lights, felt something she hadn't felt in a long time, a sense of purpose, a sense that her lonely life had brushed up against another for a reason. Daniel insisted on thanking Emma properly, so they stepped into a small coffee shop glowing with golden fairy lights. Emma tried to keep her distance emotionally, reminding herself that tonight had begun with rejection and emptiness. But Lily climbed onto the seat beside her, leaning against her like she had known her forever. As they talked, Emma discovered that Lily loved reindeer, snow globes, and stories about brave girls who saved others. Daniel explained he had signed up for a Christmas blind date earlier that evening but panicked at the last minute and canceled, feeling he wasn't ready. When Emma realized the universe had led both of them to the same restaurant, just minutes apart, something inside her cracked open, not painfully, but like ice thawing. Over the next days, Emma found herself thinking about Lily's small hand wrapped around hers, and Daniel's gentle gratitude. Their paths crossed again, once at a grocery store, once at a Christmas charity event, and once when Daniel shyly invited her for cocoa, saying Lily wouldn't stop asking about her. Slowly, carefully, Emma began spending time with them. She discovered that Daniel carried a quiet sadness but also a fierce determination to protect his daughter. Lily, though healing, still had moments of fear and silence, but with Emma, she bloomed, smiling, whispering secrets, and even laughing again. Christmas folded into winter, and winter into early spring, weaving their lives together in ways none of them expected. Emma found herself caring deeply, not just for Lily but for Daniel, whose gentle resilience made her heart steady when she felt uncertain. They weren't a couple, not yet, but there was a tenderness between them, slow, patient, and sincere. Still, Emma's insecurities haunted her. She worried she wasn't enough, that Daniel deserved someone better, someone stronger, someone who hadn't spent Christmas alone crying over a blind date rejection. But every time she grew quiet, Lily would reach for her hand, grounding her with simple, unconditional love. The turning point came the night Daniel invited her to Lily's school winter recital. Emma sat in the back row, nervous and unsure if she belonged there, surrounded by other parents who seemed so certain and whole. But then Lily stepped onto the stage, spotted Emma instantly, and ran to the edge with her arms wide open, refusing to perform until Emma came closer. The audience chuckled warmly, and Daniel whispered that she should go. When Emma walked toward the front, Lily's joy lit up the entire auditorium. She performed her small part proudly, glancing at Emma every few seconds with trust so pure it made Emma's throat tighten. After the recital, Lily hugged her tightly and whispered that she didn't want Emma to leave her life. Daniel joined them, his expression softening into a depth Emma had never seen. He told her she had become a light in their darkest season, a warmth they didn't know they needed until she appeared in the snow that night. Time continued moving, gentle but sure. Daniel and Emma grew closer, their hearts unfolding slowly like leaves in spring. Emma stopped fearing that she wasn't enough. Lily had chosen her long before Emma learned to choose herself. Daniel began leaning into the quiet love between them, and Emma found herself leaning back. They built something fragile yet strong, a family formed not by blood, but by healing, trust, and unexpected Christmas magic. By the next Christmas, the city was covered in white again. Emma, Daniel, and Lily walked through the same street where they had first met. Lily held both of their hands, swinging between them as the lights glittered overhead. And then Daniel stopped walking. He knelt in the snow, not with a ring, not with a grand gesture, but with a simple, heartfelt question, whether Emma wanted to be Lily's mother for real, and whether she wanted to share the rest of her life with them both. Emma's tears fell before her answer did, but her yes was steady, full, and overflowing with love. Lily jumped into her arms, shouting that this was the best Christmas ever. And Emma, for the first time in her life, felt completely chosen, completely seen, completely home. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness. Your support helps us bring more emotional, meaningful stories to you. Before you go, please comment, I believe in second chances.